Almost done, Jessica. I'm just telling Aaron not to stress. Okay. So, Aaron, do what you need to do. Try the link. Or if you need, we can work this out tomorrow. I will come help with the tech. The others are all working. So we are gonna get started. Kisses and hugs. Hey, Jessica, right, kisses and hugs to Erin, who you haven't met yet, who you will. Just give her good mojo, and maybe she can do something else fabulous for these next hour and a half or so, and enjoy the sunshine that's here. So thank you. And then you and I will get started here. And whoever else comes on. Oh, good. Yay, Erin's in. Woohoo! Erin, welcome. Great. So much better. So what I was sharing, just so you know, on this feed, there is a delay. There's about an 8-second delay. So sometimes what you write takes a minute for me to get, and vice versa. Same thing with asking questions. And please feel free to use the chat to ask questions as we go along, and I'll come to those. When this started, and although you guys couldn't see or hear it, I had this song playing called Unstoppable. And there's this group, an a cappella group, who does their version of it that I love called Committed. And so I was listening to that song. I always start my day with that song, being unstoppable, that no matter what happens, you got to get up, keep going, make the best of it. And so one of the tools that I was using while we were having all this chaos in technology here was, I have 2 tools. So these are 2 that you'll learn, and I'll send you a little PDF on this, and it's really important. They work miracles if you use them, because they flip your switch. It's how does it get any better than this? So when life is throwing you crap or stuff is frustrating or cuckoo, you just keep saying, how does it get any better than this? This is a challenge to the universe, and also allows your imagination and awareness to expand, to allow new information and points of view, new awarenesses to come in that might solve the problem or just take you into a place of peace. And the other one is, what else is possible here, or what else is possible now? Because again, then you're not focusing on this as a problem, you're focusing on what else is a possibility to get you out of this. So it was just kind of funny that it started out that way. Again, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I'm glad we worked it out, and we're going to go get ahead and get started. I was sharing that today we are going to talk about the 5-minute journal, which Erin received, and I'm going to share Erin just because we are a group of women and it made her cry. So we'll find out today what kind of resistance you have around journaling. I know I had huge resistances around journaling. I had lots of stories around it. But it's one of the reasons why I use this, because it literally takes 2 minutes a day. It says 5 minutes, but it's 2. And so it allowed me to overcome that objection to journaling, because I like the Titan Summit with like the top 5% of millionaires and billionaires in the world, all the major movers and shakers, all the great creators and thinkers and business people. The one thing they all have in common is they all journal. They all write down their stuff every day. They all write down what they're grateful for, and that's where this comes from. So if you're saying you want more in your life, then choosing to do things different or that you haven't done in the past is an important part of that. And if you're resisting, let's just get to what the resistance is and work on that and still give you the tools. And then later, after you do it for a while, if you don't see any results, then of course choose something else. So we're going to work on that a little bit today. And then the other thing I know that brings up resistance in people is these cards, Mother Mary Oracle. Now, I'm not like religious, like church religious at all. But there's a different energy in these cards. One, a friend of mine, Shiloh McLeod, is the painter. She painted all these women, and she is all about women's empowerment and kind of owning the knowledge you know inside, that tapping into that divinity in you that is a creator. And so this is about when you play with these cards, you're tapping into that energy. So I suggest, again, playing. This is about experimenting with your life. You want success in new areas, you want to change things, then let's play and open up the doorways that you can receive knowledge and serendipity and guidance from more than just your logical mind. So we're going to open up these possibilities. So today when I was praying, and I call it praying, but really tapping into the energy in the universe about all of you, I got the one today that's called Our Lady Who Sends Angels. And it was about having... knowing that you always have angels and guardians and energy around you at all times to help you, and I believe that. And I know that, I've sensed that, and I've experienced it. And definitely happened right now while we made it over this technological hump. So again, hello and welcome, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And just remember that if anything goes wrong during this, it's all recorded, and you will get a copy of the recording. Please use the chat box to check in over here and let me know if you have any questions or have any problems, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to switch out of the screen. It'll go black for a second, and we'll start on being unstoppable, because that is what I'm supporting all of you in being, whether it's in school, in your businesses, in creating a business, in your relationships, having that freedom to be unstoppable and get rid of all the limiting stories that have been there for you. And I hope you started to read this, The Big Leap. This is about leaping forward and getting into that life. So let me get onto our other screen here, and I'll be right back. So, be unstoppable. How does it get any better than that? So let's find out and really tap into that. And so if you could stop right now and close your eyes, put your feet on the ground and take a nice deep breath through your nose. And let it out through your mouth, and let your shoulders drop down and relax, since we had a little stress there with the technology. And let's do that again. Nice deep breath in through your nose. And let it out. And then using your imagination just for a moment, let's just imagine tapping into all the light and the energy and the love that is above and all around us. And breathe it into your body and your being as you let your shoulders continue to relax with each breath. Feeling more and more connected to that light. Feeling that light and that energy expand out, and with it, you and your awareness expanding out all around your home. And if you allow, out past your city or town. And just keep expanding out into that light and that energy, out into past the state and the country. Using your imagination, just let yourself expand all the way in the energy past the earth. Let yourself look down on the earth, out into the universe. And from this place, feel that unstoppability, sense it, perceive it, know it, be it, perceive it, and receive it. And I'm so grateful that you're here today. Thank your body for being here. And go ahead and open your eyes. So, what we're going to share today is some of the basic secrets of mastering your manifesting magic. And what you all have in common here is you all are great at manifesting, and this is just about really mastering it so you can fine-tune what you're bringing in and be able to overcome any obstacles with ease and very little stress. So one of the first keys here is I use the word manifesting at the beginning because it's the word people know. But the truth is, the word manifesting actually means the process of actualizing something into reality. So we're going to master the process, but what we're really going to become great at, and the challenge to each of us, is to actualize it, bring it right into reality. That's what we're going to become masters at, is actualizing. So we'll teach the manifesting tools, but you guys are going to master actualizing. So how does it get any better than that? That's really the best and most amazing thing to be experiencing. So, and let's see, Jessica said she pulled Our Lady of Innocence this morning. Awesome. And I know that big leap is huge. It makes a huge difference. So I'm going to share today the number one tool that I use with all of you, my clients, to be unstoppable. And even though I'm going to share it with you later, it is that journal. And it's just a tiny little piece. I mean, I'm going to share a gazillion tools with you, but it is this beginning little piece that if you overcome the resistance, can change everything. And what would it be like to have something simple that could change everything? So what will it take to create the future you truly love to be living? Don't you just want to burn up the road towards it? Just imagine that that's you burning up the road towards your beautiful life. That this is your beautiful life right now happening. So just really quick, just a quick little share. So there's me and my parents. And it was a crazy little world being an only child of only children. My mom is a crazy imagination person, and my dad is too. And so part of that is when you grow up, well, we'll have to go back through kind of our childhood a little bit and see where we got some of the stories we got. So these two crazy individuals and their very limited points of view as only children growing up in the 50s greatly limited my points of view as well. Now, as I got older, what I did is decide to honor that little girl in me, always honor the sparkle in me, because I can't hide it anyways. And what that allowed me to let in was magical ways to create children and grandchildren, not through my body. It allowed me to kind of adopt an orphanage filled with boys and girls in India. And to share my life also with animals who can contribute back, and travel the world. So this is about unleashing all that infinite sparkle and possibilities in you. So the reason why I do what I do is freedom. And I'm wondering, does that resonate with any of you? Are you like freedom seekers? Because I want ultimate freedom, and freedom of my money, travel, choices, and owning that I have a freedom to be me in every moment. And so if that is one of your key motivators, then you are so in the right spot. So who else is a freedom seeker here? So freedom, that's the way to go, I say. Let's see here. Where are we? Give me just a second. There we are. Okay, so money, because when you have the ability to choose and make and create and generate money in a myriad of ways, it creates freedom for you. So that was definitely a motivator. I have always had enough, struggled sometimes, but it was never enough to make the choices that I wanted. And what I found is I was always stuck in an energy that left me in a sense of lack. So part of becoming unstoppable was freeing up that energy. So get into the nuts and bolts of this. So what you all need to understand is the premise behind this is you're an infinite being. And as an infinite being, you come here and you choose a body, you get in a body, and then you live in your body. And so the truth is your mind and your body are a computer that begin to be programmed from the time maybe you enter the womb, or maybe when you're born, you start to receive messages, either chemical messages while you're in the womb through your mother, or behavioral, cultural, psychological messages once you're born, because you as a little being have to learn to survive in the situation you're in. So your mind and your body are a computer. And as that little computer that you be, you have a hard drive, you have installed software, and you have input devices, the places where you attach things. So this is how we work, and this is how you became who you are today. So if your input does not connect with the programs you're running, you get locked out. So let's say the program that's running in you is, I'm not enough, okay? I'm not smart enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not popular enough, I'm not bright enough. Then when you put in other statements and ideas like, I am going to be a multimillionaire success, or I am going to be, run, an 8-figure company, if you haven't dealt with the I am not enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not bright enough, I'm not popular enough, then it locks you out because they're not in congruency together. They're not in alignment. So we are going to work on getting everything in alignment here. So I want to tell a little story real quick. So I actually have a recollection before I was born of being another being. And I'm going to just call it heaven, like I'm somewhere else. And it's the 60s, late 60s, and I'm hearing all that fabulous music and feeling the energy and the vibes of, oh, we're one and free love and change the world, all those Aquarian ideals. And that I was like, oh yeah, those are my people. That's my tribe. This is my time. And that I literally chose to come here. And I know that's unusual for some people, but for me, that is my knowingness and my recollection, actual kind of like a memory. But once I made that choice, it felt like I took a dive off a cliff and was free falling. And where I landed was inside this dark, tight place that was filled with terror and fear. And that place was my mother's womb. And it was filled with fight, flight chemicals. And I felt really stuck. And immediately what I got was, whoa, this was not what I thought I was choosing at all. I thought I was choosing that free love and all these possibilities. I really didn't catch on that this was the choice I was making. And how often have you made a choice and you thought it was going to go one way and it goes another? And in that moment, though, what happened was I made another decision. While being in that womb filled with fight, flight chemicals of my mother, I decided I make bad decisions, or that I can't trust my decisions. So where in your life might you have been making choices all along when you decide this isn't working, or I make a bad choice? And what that does is further the programming that you can't trust yourself. So this is about getting back into greater trust. So fear, I don't know if you've had fear in your life, but I grew up with fear. My mother was a terrified being. So fear is false evidence appearing real. And if you've ever had fear or had to have those fight, flight chemicals running through your body, you know what that can create for you. And when you start choosing from a place of fear, okay, that becomes your program. So choosing from a place of fear is not choosing to be your best you or your greatest you. That's about survival. And we didn't come here to survive. We came here to thrive. So again, we're going to look at all the places that we might be reacting or acting from fear and get rid of those and eliminate them, because we do not need to be making choices based on false evidence appearing real, right? Okay. So again, there's me, my mom, and my dad in the 70s, and boy, were they consumers. They are big TV watchers. There's always a TV on in every room in my parents' home. And when my father was alive, both my mom and dad had crazy TV going on all the time, things exploding, trauma and drama, war. And they never realized that it's a form of hypnosis, and they're constantly being bombarded with that. So we grew up, all of us, with TVs and a TV generation, and advertising is all that. But childhood itself, when you're in wonder and awe, is a form of hypnosis. So where have you been hypnotized? And again, that's what we're gonna unravel here. Where have we been unhypnotized that we can now start deleting and uncreating those programs and inserting in the programs that you do want? So that was me and my mom and my dad. So growing up with them, that did shatter me as I took on more and more of their programming and tried to make myself fit into their box, to be quiet, to be small, to not stand out, to not have so much energy, to fit in, to try not to cause a scene. It broke me energetically and emotionally, and really started all kinds of waves of illness, and not really succeeding in the ways I could. My dad, my mom is the fearmonger. My dad is the gambler, and not that he gambled, but he was lucky, and he kind of lived his life just on luck. He did have a really positive attitude in terms of he just always trusted. And I think that's where I get some of that. But carrying those two around that were in constant paradigm shift against each other, fighting against each other, kind of blocked my creation. And where might you have a paradigm going of conflicting thoughts and feelings? Like you're a positive person, but maybe on the inside you've got some fears. So again, we're going to work on getting an alignment here so that you can really be unstoppable and have everything you want. So I don't know about any of you, but I grew up in the middle class. And again, that's a place where we all sit with a lot of TV hypnosis, a lot of consumer hypnosis. And although I grew up in a neighborhood that could be quite rich, being middle class, there, for me at least, was always the sense of, having to stay at the top of your game and to be in that. And that continued through a lot of my life. I went into debt to maintain that lifestyle, to live it, thinking that would somehow always create the freedom and the feelings I wanted, and it didn't. In the end, it had to come from the inside out. So I needed to get out of the boxes of living in our little towns, and all the things that society and my parents say that we need to be whole, and start choosing for me, because I was just so unhappy. I don't know about any of you if you've been unhappy to the point where it made you sick inside. Anybody else? Where you're just swallowing so many bitter pills that it finally shows up in other ways, like failed relationships or illnesses and stress, loss of jobs. So what if we could get you to the point where we could get the connections going to your mindset that helped you delete and uncreate all of these programs, and instead install all of the programming and the mindsets that are going to set you free to have everything you want? How amazing would that be? So there was a time when I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed that God would take me and die. And so I did have a near-death experience. I've had more than one. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because this is how I know that at the core of things, you're not just your body, that you are an infinite being. Your body is something you're in, but you are separate from your body. So when I prayed and prayed and prayed, because again, I was living in that box, trying to be everything and do everything right, and it still wasn't working. I was just getting sick, and I felt so frustrated. I felt like I had this amazing skill and possibility, and wanted to share with the world, and it was just eating me up inside. That one night I did wake up, and I was floating on the ceiling, and a light opened up in the room, and I started traveling through this tunnel of light. And at the end of this tunnel was a big voice and a oh type thing. And it said, of course, you don't have to stay on this planet and suffer. That's not the reason. Because I was like, why? Why am I suffering? It said that is not the purpose, and you can come back whenever you want. But the truth is, you have a lot you can enjoy and accomplish here if you're willing to, and you will regret it if you come back. You will have that as a regret. And I thought, because it felt so good to be in that light, it felt home, it felt whole, I felt like me. I thought I chose it, but there was a moment when I thought about my mother and, oh my God, what's going to happen when her 21-year-old daughter is found dead in the bed? How will she ever get over that, losing her only child? And in that moment, thinking about somebody else, it felt like I felt like 100 stories into the bed and woke up gasping and covered in like tears and vomit and like gasping for breath. And in that moment, I knew I was going to be here a long time, and it didn't change everything. I woke up for a minute, but kind of fell back asleep consciously, back into the unconsciousness. But I never forgot that I am separate from my body, that I exist outside of that. And that is important, because if you're outside of your body, then you can just keep choosing. It's just about making more and more choices. So I hit the snooze button again, as many of us have. I ended up having to keep medicating until the frustration built up so very much that, and I built up enough debt and chaos, and that I had to injure myself again. And this is the last big one. I kept asking, praying when life got overwhelming again. And this is like a decade later, because I would fall asleep for decades at a time, that I was praying for a break, that please God, I need a break. I need a new career. I need a new opportunity. I need to feel alive. Please help me. And it was a mantra all day long. I need a break. I need a break. I need a break. I need a break. And so one night I was out with David at the time. We went to dinner. We took our dogs out for a run afterwards in this big park. And while we were there, one of my dogs was running and literally came around and ran right into me and snapped my leg in half. And it broke right then and there. It was a big spiral break. And in that moment, I literally heard again, ah, and I heard, you wanted a break? You got a break. What we suggest, and it was a we suggest in the future that you ask for a vacation or a new job or new possibilities or new opportunities. Because your words have power and you are creating with them with your words and your energy. So that was a huge wake-up call. And that changed everything, because while I was sitting there with my broken leg, I went and found hypnotherapy school and went back and became a medical hypnotherapist and opened a practice up in wine country in Sonoma County. And that was a big aha. Everything unraveled from there. Everything began to change when I began to master my words, my emotions, and my thoughts, and taking radical self-responsibility to be willing to inquire about what were the thoughts and the feelings holding me back. And each of those aha moments set me free. So what manifesting magic have you not tapped into? Because you have untapped capacity as the infinite being you be. If you're ready to own, I'm an infinite being, then from that place, what could you choose that is a contribution to you and your body today? So that is how, if you start getting in that framework, I'm an infinite being, would an infinite being choose this? So if you're in a shitty situation, would an infinite being choose this? Hell fucking no, it would not. So what can I choose instead that would be a contribution to my body and being? So again, a manifester is a creator or a maker, but we're going to get on to actualizing, because we want to actualize in the now. We want to use your energy and your words and your power now to bring into your reality those things that you want. We want your hopes and dreams to be your reality now. So we're going to start living those energetically. So Mike Dooley, who's written just a ton of fabulous books on like how to be money, how to be an infinite being, infinite possibilities, says there are only 3 things that can make your dreams come true. Your thoughts. Okay, so your thoughts are like what are you projecting on the screen of your life. So the energy that goes through them is like the light that creates those. So your thoughts, your words, what you're saying has power. When you're saying, I need a break, I need a break, I need a break, I created a break. How many times have you said weird things like that? I'm going to give you another example. My mom's been dealing with a lot of like medical things, and she keeps saying, I'm so tired of this. I don't want any more medical problems. I'm so tired of this. I don't want any more medical stuff. I kept telling her, reframe that. Don't say that, because you're only asking for more. So what's happened is every time she's gone to an appointment, every time she's had to do something for one of these medical things, it actually ends up being more complicated with more problems and like misalignments or misunderstandings each time. Like it's magnifying because she keeps saying it. So finally, when it happened again for like the 6th time in a row. This last week, my mom finally said, okay, I get it. My words are creating more of what I don't want. So she's now working on either saying nothing or using her words to create what she does want. Yes, radical I'm going to go back real quick. Radical self-responsibility, meaning if you're an infinite being, then you're creating your life. So this means getting out of being a victim, getting out of any of that. You have the responsibility, the ability to respond. You have the ability to respond and choose. And all it is a series of choices. So if one choice isn't giving you the results you want, or you don't like how it feels, you simply get to make another choice and keep on choosing. But that radical self-responsibility means you're willing to look at your life and try something else, and continue to keep experimenting with it. So I hope that helps, and we'll get into that a little bit more. So your thoughts and your words and your actions have to do with that energy and the passion that you put into things. So that is almost the light that is behind the projector, and that shows the picture on the wall of your life. So it either makes it bright and brilliant and brings it into being, or it doesn't. So how all this mind stuff is going to work, and how you're really going to experience the confidence and the magic that comes with understanding it, we're going to get here, because mindset shifting is a game changer. So we're going to try to help you understand your mind, because you aren't your mind. Your mind works for you. So the problem is, our reality and school and teachers have made it where, like logic and linear and fact are the most important things. And the truth is, those are just, they're always changing, actually. Think about how science has changed over the years. They say it's a fact, and then later it gets debunked, or you get more information and it changes what the story is. So it's constantly changing and evolving. So we don't want to get stuck in anything linear or logical or factual. We want to take the awarenesses we can get from them and apply them, but we don't want to stick ourselves by being stuck. So your mind, again, just works for you. So we're going to learn how to master that, so it's no longer running your life and creating things you don't want anymore. See, in our mind model, what you need to know is you have a conscious mind, and that's the part that's kind of talking right now. It's your taskmaster. It handles your to-do list, and it's kind of the chatty part. You have your subconscious mind, and that is where a lot of our programming is stored from childhood and culture and events, even some DNA programming. So programming maybe even of other events and situations and response systems that comes through your DNA. Then we have the critical faculty, which is huge. So this critical faculty is the part we're going to deal with the most, because we need to bypass it to get into the places where we can delete and create the programs that aren't working and install the programs that are. So in your conscious mind is rational. So, I mean, it's great, but usually ration means, think about it. If you're rationing something out, you're trying to almost limit it. So we are kind of blow out a lot of our rational mind. Rational also means basically you're trying to talk yourself into something. So you're trying to talk yourself into the sense of it, when really maybe you're perceiving something else, but you're going to rationalize it. We want to rationalize things. Our conscious mind wants a reason for why we do things. So we're going to start blowing that out and kind of not letting it have a reason. We're just going to ask more questions. Your conscious mind is analytical, which is great. It takes all the pieces there that it knows and tries to make sense of them for you based on what you're doing. And again, at this point, it's good to know it's there, but we're really going to take analysis instead and really focus on awareness. So it's important you know how your conscious mind works. It has your temporary memory. So the things you're saying are important right now, like I need to remember to call my mom in an hour. Those kinds of things, or I need to remember to turn off the oven before I leave the house. It has your willpower in it. So again, these are the tools that are working for you every day that you use your conscious mind in the moment to pay attention to certain things. So willpower. So this is where a lot of people fail when trying to make changes in their lives. They try to use their willpower, but that is just in your conscious mind. It's just a tool, and it's just quick and temporary. Willpower is used to kind of put you over the hump. It isn't used to sustain you. So that's where a lot of people end up failing, and then they feel hopeless, like they'll never be able to do it because they're only relying on willpower. But there are some things that are stronger than willpower that will like push you through. So your subconscious mind is where all your power lies. This is where your imagination is. And the truth is from the time you were born, is everything that you've experienced, received, and taken in through the lens of your being really come through your imagination. You're imagining how it's happening to you. And let me expound a little bit on this. So if you have ever talked to family or friends before about like the same experience, like you're there at the same time, they all have like a little different view, or that wasn't their slant of how they received it. One took things like hard and difficult, and another one took it like easy, go lucky. So our imagination is this lens with which we receive and perceive our current reality. So your imagination is your gift. You are imagining your life in every moment, even as it's happening to you, because you have a choice to imagine it as fun or hard or overwhelming. So how are you going to use your imagination today? And we're going to really work on expanding that. Your emotions and your feelings sit here. So these become the triggers and like the fuel that help you make things happen. So we are definitely going to tap into all of those. Your permanent memory lies here. So this is the things that you have stored that say, these are the things that help me survive and thrive. This is where you put those and where we can tap into them. And your intuition and awareness work through here. So your intuition is where you store certain triggers of awarenesses, and where almost like an antenna where you can pull things in to perceive them. And lastly, your protective processes lie here. So protective processes like heart rate, breathing, fight, flight, and even responses you learn as a child on how to live in the world, like protective processes of maybe being quiet or not challenging authority, or the things you've learned. And maybe you've already overcome those, but those were where those would be. So the critical faculty. So this is the judge and the filter between those two parts of your mind. So the critical faculty is like a little moat, or again, like the judge or the filter. And this is what we need to bypass each time when you want to make a change, because we need to get past this little part that's deciding whether it's in alignment. When we talked about your input needs to align with your hard drive and your software that's running, that's what we're talking about here. So the critical faculty has made its job to protect you, to make sure that whatever programs are running continue to run. So when you are at this point now where you're deciding you want something else, we are going to find ways to bypass that critical faculty, and I'm going to teach you to do that, and the tools that you'll be able to use in your life are going to be revealed over the next 10 weeks. Because if you believe it, you can achieve it. So that's how we got to the moon. This is how we fly. This is how people go from bankrupt to, 8 figures. And it's through their imagination. They imagined it before it happened. It's the key to unlocking your magic. If you look at the Wright brothers or Einstein or Leonardo da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci was drawing pictures of submarines and helicopters back, in the 1700s or late 1600s. And that didn't exist. And yet through that imagination, it unlocked the future magic of those becoming a reality. So this is going to be about us learning to let go and really dream big, to unlock our imaginations and see what is the magic inside of you that's waiting to come out, and let's let it go and see what it can create. So I use a couple tools. We use hypnosis. So in the loops I provide for you, and if you haven't registered already for your optimistic mindset, MP3, please do that. This is a beginning kind of self-hypnosis audio. I'll resend the link out to you. Listen to this daily. It's, 17 minutes. Give yourself 17 minutes before you go to bed and recondition your mind of how you're going to move into optimism and recondition your mind for programming yourself through your own hypnosis. You're getting programmed all the time anyways. That's how the world works. That's what marketing is. It's what sales is. That is what the TV, movies, all of it. So use this power to your advantage by learning to master it for yourself. So that's one of the things we're going to do. Because hypnosis alters and expands your awareness if you choose. It allows you to go farther outside of yourself and expand into the spaces out there where, like Leonardo da Vinci, while expanding, probably meditating, was out in the universe traveling in his mind and imagination and saw pictures of what were submarines and helicopters that couldn't even exist yet. So what can you create by allowing yourself to alter and expand your awareness? So would you be willing to choose it? So another tool we're going to learn is Access Consciousness, because again, this is about becoming conscious about your choices all the time. You're choosing your life and your reality. So how does it get any better than that, actually? If you're not a victim anymore and you get to choose, and there's nothing wrong with you, and all the craziness that's ever gone in your life is actually going to end up being the strongness that makes your life magic. What Access Consciousness does is allow you to embody you and really allow life to come to you with ease, joy, and glory. And so it's a process of getting in the question. So I did send out also the information on the link of theclearingstatement.com, theclearingstatement.com. I'm going to type it again, theclearingstatement.com. Give me a second here. Theclearingstatement.com. Okay, so if you use theclearingstatement.com, because what will happen is when we're on our live calls or I'm working with you on your one-on-one coaching sessions, what you'll know is I will ask you, are you willing to delete, destroy, and uncreate certain things? Because you're choosing something new, choosing something different, choosing to get rid of things that hold you back. And that clearing statement that I do, is described in that clearingstatement.com. So I want you to be aware of that in advance. But this is one of the most profound tools that I've had, that I use every day in and out, that has changed everything, that blows consciousness out of the water, that releases all limitations. And we're really going to step into this. It is really a power pusher. Everybody I know who has been using Access Consciousness for any length of time has totally revamped their whole lives and live really amazing freedom lifestyles, both in terms of travel, money, the things that they choose for themselves, the people around who are supportive. So it really does set you free. The whole goal of Access Consciousness is to set you free. So that's what we're going to do. And then the other thing is repetition over time. So consistent habit over time. It's persistence. At the Titan Summit, again, where they had the top 5% billionaire, millionaire creators of this planet gather, one of the things they all agreed on is that repetition helps. And I know that's hard for some of us creative, unicorn, magical people. So it's not about boring repetition. It's sometimes just about persistence. But in the beginning, a few things repeated over and over will make the difference, because it creates the mental habit, and then later the physical habit is less important. But the mental habit, the mindset that you create is huge. So I want to tap into your imagination again for a minute. So close your eyes and imagine a juicy lemon. And it's still whole, and you can see all the little dimples on the outside and that waxy lemon rind around it. And I want you to take like your fingernail in your imagination and poke it into that rind and put the lemon to your nose and smell it. And see if you can sense that lemon oil smell. And in your imagination, if you would, choose to pick up a knife and go ahead and cut that lemon in half, and then again in a quarter. And maybe juice rolls down a slice of that lemon, and you see a seed, And when you were cutting it, maybe you saw that little spritz of lemon oil pop up. And I want you to be brave now, and I want you to, in your imagination, grab a slice of that lemon and bring it to your mouth. And just as if you maybe in the past remember having bit on a lemon, I want you to go ahead and bite down on that lemon and squish all the juice out. Now, for me, before I even did it, my face is squinched up and pinched up and so tight. And just now I am starting to get some saliva in my mouth. And what about for any of you? Does your imagination allow you to create that smell or that flavor or that saliva in your mouth? Right in the text box if that happens when you use your imagination with lemons. Yes? All right. Let me see what comes up here. So, I know, it's crazy. My face is still pinched up. I'll show you guys a little bit. This is never fun for me. But part of this is if I say think about a pink elephant, or don't think about a pink elephant, don't think about a pink elephant, don't think about a pink elephant, you're going to imagine a pink elephant. So again, that power of your imagination is super important. So we're going to really employ that today. So right now I want you to keep imagining that you're receiving all this information. It's expanding in your awareness and going out. And soon you'll be able to use and tap into it, and it will all align in ways that you have yet imagined that will make your life amazing. So now onto the words. So I want you to be able to all take the power of your words and develop optimistic mouth mantras all the time that help you actualize fast. So again, rather than create the breaks in your life, we want to create ease and joy and glory. So one of those things again is I write a couple mantras down in a book every day, and I usually is every day is a wealthy day. I like that one. Every day is a wealthy day. Every day is a wealthy day. And I sit there and I let my imagination run crazy with that. Like, does that feel like even? What is the energy of that? Every day is a wealthy day. I always have enough money for all of my desires, and I do. That's a great one. All of life comes to me with ease and joy and glory. Glory being exuberant expression of life. So we are going to keep flipping the switch on this. So this is why it's really important during your time in the program and coaching programs that you text and Facebook me when you are stuck in a loop. And let me know. This is about you becoming aware and rather than beating yourself up when you're stuck in a loop that may not be working for you, something negative, or just maybe that's flat, but isn't creating what you want, text or call me so we can flip your switch. So we can get you the right words that will create. So we can flip your energy that will create. Because that's what I'm here to do, is support each and every one of you in letting this mastery become your new norm. So you are energy. So the whole universe is energy. This is what science has now shown us. So learning to manipulate the energy so it's light and moving all the time allows you to actualize quicker rather than being heavy and tied down with old stories and doubt and worry and blame and shame, or the feelings of not being enough, or frustration or chaos. So that's what I'm here to do, is help you to continue to be light and apply that energy. So one of the things that I sent each of you that you have, or if you've worked with me before, you already have, is the 5-minute journal. And the 5-minute journal is a huge tool that some of the absolute most essential successful people on the planet are using. My coaches who I have paid more money than, well, I'll just tell you, I have one coach that I paid over $20,000 to and another one $15,000. And this is just for a year program, and other ones that I've paid $7,000 to. So they all use this. They all come from different backgrounds, and yet this is something that they all have in their arsenal. At the Titan Summit, there was a huge majority of the people there who actually use this journal. So it works because it employs all of the success tools that, 7- and 8-figure, change makers are using in their world. So this is about changing your perception. Will you choose juicy? Will you choose a juicy life? Who doesn't want a juicy, orgasmic life filled with possibilities and yum? So what perception shifts can we make that would allow you to choose juicy for you? So that's just a question. And using this journal helps to expand that. So let's see here. Can I make that any bigger? Yeah, maybe it will do it. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, it did. So how the journal starts out, and this is why I love it, is every morning I just leave it by my bedside. And if you have resistance on journaling, then use one of your appointments, please. And if you haven't yet, schedule one of your private one-on-ones. And hold on just for a second. I have a leaf blower that's getting ready to come by, so let me shut the door. Hold on, ladies. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. All right, shutting the door, coming back. Getting a sip of water, and I'm back. Okay. So the keys that make this so important is one, gratitude is an energy that creates. Gratitude is an energy that creates. They've done research studies psychologically and with different illnesses. And when people keep a gratitude journal, okay, and get into the energy of gratitude on a regular basis, symptoms go away, magic shows up, people are able to move through difficult things and start choosing differently to create more possibility for them. So the nice thing about this is you leave this little journal by your bed and you have 3 freaking lines here, people. So like one day I wrote, I'm grateful for my feet. Literally, I wrote that. Because the truth is they do get me around, and at the time my feet were hurting, and I was grateful for all the times that they've been there for me, not hurting. It allowed me to hike mountains and to get through life. I write in there, let's say I'm grateful for my clients. I'm grateful for having people to love and to have awareness about and to care for and support as they create their dreams. And I am grateful for being the energy, space, and consciousness of infinite receiving. Those are the things that I wrote that I'm grateful for today. So, okay, that took me all of 15 seconds. So then what we do is, I'm going to see what's in the next one here really quick and see if I can go back. Will it let me go back? Small again. Hold on. I'm coming back. Give me just a second. Coming back. Seeing what I can create. Oh, hold on. And it went out. So let me see, where did it go? Give me just a second, ladies. Because we just got, okay. So let's see here. How can I make this cancel? And here. Back to screen share. There it is. It will let me go down. So this is how we go through. So then afterwards we go, what would make today great? Now what making today great is about is, again, awareness. So this is about you tapping into that sensation of you, of what you're willing to ask for more in the universe. Okay, because this is about expanding your dreams. What would make today great? And again, the power of question. So here I wrote things like having magic and adventure show up. I always leave one big open one. Sometimes I'll be, awareness of like receiving money from an unknown source, and ease and joy in my body. Okay. And then I go down to daily affirmations. And again, this is a huge one. People who write their shit down and do this every day are the ones who manifest it. When they go back and they look at their journal or they look in their writings, what they find a year later is that they have actually created these things. So here, something like, I am worthy and deserving of having all of my dreams, and I am. Okay. I am wildly successful and creating and generating, this is what you want, $50,000 in revenue a month. Okay. I am passionate and energized and light in my body, and I am. So again, took us 10 whopping seconds. Now, the thing is, when you actually spend the time to do that, those few moments, and step into this, you will see change in a matter of weeks. As you allow yourself to do this, you are sending out a beacon and a message to the universe to create something different. And then when you go to bed at night, it comes up with this next little bit. And again, this takes even less time. And this lets you go back into 3 amazing things that happened today. And that's really about having the wonder and the awe in your life. So it allows you to reflect what happened today that was amazing. And I find something. I always try to find something. So it ties back in that little bit of gratitude. And sometimes you will realize that you are actualizing miracles at a rapid rate here. And then how could I have made today even better? And I'll tell you again, this is expanding awareness and allowing you to make new choices with this question. So for a few months, every day there, when I was staying with my parents and helping my dad, what would show up here was watching less television because their TVs were always on, and having had more physical activity. And that showed up for like a week after week, until one day when I went back and I was reading through each page and gathering awareness from it, what I decided was, well, what keeps me choosing, because that's just a choice, what keeps me choosing to not have these things, because it's a choice. So it allowed me to go in and delete and uncreate any programs. It also allowed me to stop beating myself up that I wasn't choosing those things, and evaluate whether they are things I really are a priority for me or not. And if they are a priority, what could I choose differently? And from that awareness, it did allow me to choose differently. And I got back into the habits that I love of doing yoga free at the beach. And using, I set up a gym in the garage. And those were the choices I was able to make with that. So can you see how this will be a benefit? And if you could just be willing to try it for at least a few weeks, that is the biggest thing that I can ask of you, is to try, because this is about experimenting with new tools for your life. Because if you, gosh, what is wrong with this slide? If you were able to have it and do it and be it on your own, and have done it the way that you already know how, you would have already done it. So that's why it's so important that you try something new, because if you could have done it, you would have already done it by now. You would have already done it. So give me a second here while I bring up another slide. And thank you again for your patience. And, oh, hold on, let me go to, I think we're on slide 16. Hold on, let me get through here. We got lost on some slides. Okay, so through this little journal, we're expanding your awareness. You're moving into the power of the I am statement, which will change everything. Joel Osteen and his book, The Power of I Am, literally, again, this is a tool that makes significant changes. So this is about me supporting you and trying some new tools that, even if they sound cuckoo or woo-woo or whatever, try them for a while and see what happens. Because being in the space of an awe and wonder, that childlike energy is what is going to set you free to create again. If we clear out all the crap you got as a kid, so you could just be that pure energy of the kid who can create and use their imagination, what could you set yourself free to do? So hell yeah, a success tool that creates only 5 minutes a day, and for me it's 2 minutes, then yes, give it a try. So one of the things, it's all in the question, and that's what Access Consciousness is. Moving out of linear limitations of conclusion and into the infinite possibilities of I wonder what is possible here. I wonder what else is possible here. I wonder how it can get any better than this. I wonder how I can choose me today that would allow me to receive all the me I be. I know it's a weird question. And anything that brings up and anything that gets in the way of that, could you delete and uncreate it now? Just say yes. Pod Poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. Anything that keeps you from choosing you. Let's see here. Let's see. The screen sharing isn't working, he's saying. Hold on. Thank you. Technology. I'll get better at it. Anything that keeps you from being all of you, would you be willing to destroy, delete, and uncreate that, please? All right. Say yes. Good, bad, right, wrong, Pod Poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Because truth is choice. Okay. If you're an infinite being and your greatest power is choice, is choice the magic card you've been asking for, but been unwilling to acknowledge? Anything that brings up, anything that distorts in your brain or your energy field right now, just be willing to delete, destroy, and uncreate that, please. Good, bad, right, wrong, Pod Poc, all 9 shorts, boys and beyond. So let me tell you a little bit about choice and deleting and uncreating real quick. So here's the idea with that. When I ask a question and it makes your mind kind of have a brain fart or like feels weird, trust that that resistance or what that brings up is something to go ahead and delete, destroy, and uncreate. Now, when even if I asked you to say delete and destroy and uncreate the relationship you have with your child. Okay. Now, what I mean by that, because I'm going to give you an example, is everything that has been up until now, all of the energy and attachment points you have to it, any points of view of how it has to be in the future or how it's been in the past, would it be a benefit to let those go and instead keep choosing in the moment from your awareness of what works now and what would be most helpful now and what contributes the most? Okay, see the difference in those energies? So I'm not asking you to actually delete, destroy, and uncreate the people or the relationships or anything. It's the attachments to them, the stories to them, so that you can then choose it again. Like I wake up every morning and I delete, destroy, and uncreate all of my relationships with everyone, including myself. So one of the reasons why I do that is so that I am not stuck to the choice that I made the day before. And they're not stuck to the choice they made the day before. Now, the truth is, am I going to continue to mostly have all these people in my life? Yes. But every day I want that freedom to choose again and to keep choosing from the place of awareness. What works today that's a contribution for all of us? So that's where I'm coming from when I'm asking you to be in question and asking you to delete and uncreate. Because when you are open to continue to choose and not sticking yourself, life is less difficult. Okay? So that's that one. Let's see here. Oh, Lord, I did it again. I am so kooky with this dang thing. Let's see, is this it? There it is again. I am a lunatic. So we'll keep going here. So that's what I'm here for, is to provide support and accountability to help fuel you and skyrocketing all your manifesting success, to help you work into a place of no more being linear and logical, okay, and just using those things instead as an awareness, and instead being in question, a question that's not conclusion, and helping you continue to choose more of you every day. Trusting that choosing for you is not choosing against another, and that if you're choosing for you and it's good for you, it is going to be good for all the people you love around you as you lead and you guide them. Lead your teams and your businesses, lead your family, and help them choose for them so they can be happy and create, because this is really about out-creating for you, because ultimately it is time for you to be free and have it all. And that's what I'm here to support you on, so that you can have tons of joy. We can be jumping for joy, so you can choose where you want to live and be in the world, so you can choose a laptop lifestyle you want, or to have as many businesses as you'd like and that would nourish you, or choose to work from home or choose to not work at all and instead work at being the most amazing parent you can be. Choose to have the freedom to say yes to what you desire, because all those are glass ceiling limiters that we're bound to. If you want to travel the world and be a world citizen, I want you to have that. And this is about getting into that imagination. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to set you on, fill out your 5-minute journal if you haven't, pulled a Mother Mary Oracle card if you haven't, and spend a little time with that and expand your awareness and ask, how can this be a contribution to me today, and what can I be aware of if I allowed myself? And the reason why I would say that is so that you can overcome any resistance. So anything that does bring up, would you be willing to delete, destroy, and uncreate that now? Any resistance? Great. Because where have you made resisting things or resisting new ideas a distraction to keep you from actually choosing the things that would help you have your dreams and realities come true now? Boom. And anything that is, are you willing to delete, destroy, and uncreate it, please? Yes. Good, bad, right, wrong, POD, POC, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. If you haven't started reading The Great Leap, please do that now. And if not, go ahead and finish that up. And then I am sending out a little workbook this afternoon where I'm going to ask you to start figuring out some of the places where you have stories that could be holding you back, because it is time to shatter the glass ceilings of limitation for you. So what can you be aware of today? Make the commitment to your 5-minute journal. And if you're having resistance around this, and even if you're not, hop onto the link on the welcome letter that I sent you and sign up for your coaching session. It's time. Let's get going. Let's work through your resistance and let's see where you're at. And in between those, if something comes up for you, resistance, reaction, disappointment, or just confusion, text or Facebook me, and let's flip your switch. So I'm going to undo this screen real quick. Let's see here, because it's time to get your sparkle on for the day. I want you to all go out there and enjoy your day. Enjoy the sunshine, enjoy the snow where you are, because I know Jessica has snow. It's really hot and warm here at the beach. Let me turn this off and come back over to... So any questions? We're going to fill this out and commit to doing this, not to beat yourself up, not to make yourself wrong, but just to play and experiment with what it is, to start keeping track and see if this is a possibility that it could work for you. Pull a card again. Trust and say, what is this? If it comes up, read it. See, what could I be aware of if I allowed this to be a message to my subconscious? What else could be possible for me? Get into your Great Leap or finish it if you haven't, because it's time to shatter those glass ceilings. And then look out for later today. I'm sending out a little workbook where you're going to start making your dream life happen by one. We're going to get in touch with like starting to dream big. What would you really like? I'm going to have you write the list of like dream crazy big. And start to get into some of the stories that might be limiting you. So everybody got that? Go ahead and write in the chat book. You got that, Erin? Got that, Jessica? Thumbs up. I love you guys so much. I am always thinking amazing things for you. Always seeing and believing in all of your crazy possible. And sending you joy and possibilities in every moment. So I'm going to say goodbye for now, unless you have any questions. Anybody got any questions? Questions? I will see you on Thursday's call. Call in to the number. I'll send that out and come with your questions. Let's flip some switches. Share with what's going on with you. Each call will start with a celebration. Tell us what's going good, even if it's just that you just showed up. Because remember, success, 80–90% of success is showing up, okay? And then come with the things that have been bugging you, whether it's about your family, your relationships, about school, about work, anything. Bring that to the call, and let's flip some switches and delete and uncreate everything that is no longer working for you. Mwah. Love all of you. Bye-bye.